I mean, I already know all this, but I mean, I've got people that work here that their daddy told them about it. That's WorldNet, Daily, Associated Press, Reuters, you name it. Wait, you just discovered you knew him? His picture's now been released and Rob Dew knows him. Whoa. Yeah, it turns out he knows somebody, it looks like at a local radio station we work with, who was in the same hangar. Well, we're not going to talk about it yet. Just you guys are about to, you look freaked out, man. I mean, we're in Austin, folks. We're here. We have hundreds of thousands of listeners in Central Texas. They're all giving us the intel. In fact, get his picture. It's been on the news for an hour and a half. Can we find Joseph Andrew Stack? The news keeps saying Joseph Andrew. On his tax records, it's Andrew Joseph Stack. But the news says Joe Stack. Whatever. Here's Dew's note. I knew this guy. Yeah, when I saw his picture on the news an hour and a half ago on Fox, oh, man. I've seen that hat. I've seen that face. Guys, you know, they got that saying, no rest for the wicked. I don't feel wicked. I feel like a good guy. Why the hell? I was telling my wife, I'm going to take off a few days next week. I'm going to take the kids fishing. My kids beg for me to be home. I just love them. That's him? Is that a photo you have, Dew? Yeah, Dew is a musician in town with several bands. He says he knows this guy. Good God. There he is. Andrew Joseph Stack, known as Joe Stack. Okay. Again, we're live if you just tuned in. Special broadcast, not on the AM and FM dial, global shortwave satellite, just on the Infowars.com audio streams, but tens of thousands listening right now. This will be uploaded to prisonplanet.tv right after we're done. For everybody that wants to archive it, watch the video, listen to the audio, go back over it. Even though this is really dangerous, what we're doing, it's good to be alive. It's good to be on the side of right. It's good to be informed. It's good to be detectives for the people, really investigating what's happening. Source. This is the big breaking news. Source. FBI knew Austin attack was coming. Dallas office dispatched agents yesterday afternoon to be on the ground in Austin. A trusted source has told this office that the FBI knew Austin was going to be attacked today and then dispatched officers from its Dallas headquarters yesterday afternoon to be in place for today's incident. The source claims, and we know this source and they've done good work in the past. That's what's scary. I wish this wasn't true. The source claims a confidential memo was circulated yesterday detailing that a building in Austin was going to be the target of an attack today. He was told this by an informant who works in the Dallas FBI office. Remember, we have informants that gave us the MIAC and Homeland Security reports. People didn't believe that for 4 or 5 days was real. Is it real? Is it real? Folks, you can't believe the intel that comes across. It's oceans of it. I can't even handle it anymore. Vetting it, checking it, just drowning in evidence. We've got FEMA camp construction workers ready to come on. I mean, I just can't. 4 FBI agents hurriedly left the Dallas office yesterday to be ready and on the scene for the aftermath of the incident, according to the informant, who was shaken when he saw events unfolding today and put 2 and 2 together. And he called our source this morning. We cannot confirm the accuracy of this claim, but the source is known to us and has no motivation for inventing the story. The fact that the pilot, Joe Stack, changed his manifesto 27 times before the final version suggests that he had been waiting and been writing it for days and could have been what tipped off the FBI in the buildup to the attack. This could be a strange coincidence that Glenn Beck and all these other people are putting out the talking points that Tea Party terrorists are about to strike, but I'm Glenn Beck. I'm Benedict Arnold. You can trust me. It could be it's all a coincidence. It could be that we're wrong. He could just be a lone nut. Could be. Could be. But it's gone from 50-50 that it's a lone nut or a staged event to 75-25, 75 staged, 25 not staged. Pretty soon it'll be 99.9, unfortunately, if this evidence continues to go this way, just like the underwear bomber is. The fact that pilot Joe Stack changes manifesto at least 27 times before the final version suggests that he had been writing it for days, and this could have been what tipped off the FBI in the build-up to the attack. So they could have just responded to something real, and they didn't know. They knew it was an IRS building. There's several in Austin, and they had people standing by, and he had his own private hangar. Why didn't they go there and stop him? They knew that. That kind of undermines them, doesn't it? That they knew he had a private hangar, at least with some other folks. He was there. Why didn't they go out to the hangar? Maybe he moved the plane before. I mean, it just doesn't look good for him. Oh, I'm in a science fiction movie. I'm living in a science fiction Twilight Zone event. I am. Glenn Beck tonight called himself a founding father. I couldn't believe it. He said, I am your founding father. You're either with George Washington or with the terrorist. He's copying me, but twisting it. I've said you're either with the spirit of 1776 and George Washington or with the New World Order. I can't handle it, man. The fact that Joe Stack changed his manifesto at least 27 times before the final version suggests that he had been writing it for days, and this could have been what tipped off the FBI to build up to the attack. The claim dovetails with reports we're receiving from Austin residents. We have their names here. I even know one of them. The FBI were immediately on the scene after the plane crash and were filming both the building and eyewitnesses. Continuing. A separate witness told KXAN News, and we're going to play that in a moment. You have it ready, correct? That there were hazmat. How long is that video? Okay, good. A separate witness told KXAN News that there were hazmat teams and fire trucks in place across the street before the plane struck the building. InfoWars reporters who spoke with neighbors at Stack's house, which he had burned to the ground before crashing the plane, expressed surprise at how quick emergency services responded to the fire. One neighbor, named Elbert, said the emergency crews arrived 5 minutes ahead of he made the 9/11 call. Whether the attack was the work of a lone individual or part of a larger setup, the aftermath is being exploited to the fullest by the corporate media and people like Glenn Beck, who are blaming the incident on constitutionalists and the liberty movement. We have a link to that. Implying that anyone who shares any of these grievances outlined in Stack's lengthy manifesto are intent on crashing planes into buildings. Of course, the previous staged terror attack, the Christmas Day underwear bombing incident, was proven to be a setup, and the authorities repeatedly had to change their cover story after eyewitness Kurt Haskell and others, who were initially derided by the media, were eventually proven right in the fact that the bomber was allowed to board Flight 253 by order of the State Department. We are providing the following tip line in Austin to send their eyewitness and news tips about this incident to 512-646-4444. All right, I'm going to play a few minutes of the KXAN with them saying the emergency crews were already there. This happened on Oklahoma City. That came out in congressional and state hearings, that they were already parked, ready, there, beforehand, and the BATF showed up seconds after, telling a doctor that stopped, bandage me up. I was up on the top floor. I'm hurt. The doctor said, hell no. And cops showed up and they killed some of them, like Terrence Yakey. Called his partner, said, feds are following me, and they tortured him to death. These folks don't play games, and they want to scare you into submission and demonize the Tea Party movement because it's the most vocal, mobilized people against this tyranny. We're going to play this local TV clip. Then I'm going to get our guest in here, our witnesses, Rob Dew, Jason Douglas. In fact, let's play the part of the KXAN, then fade it down almost immediately. So I'm going to take a break and get them in studio, and then play a few minutes of me on Russia Today, just an hour or two ago. I guess now 3 hours. Gosh, time flies. About 3:15, breaking down what happened on international television. So we'll be right back here in a moment. Here is KXAN, ladies and gentlemen. This is key. Watch that screen.
I guess, sorry. The one thing I would like to say is that I know the fire department got here real fast because they actually had an engine sitting over there that just happened to be doing something with hazmat. So they were over here like right away. So I guess that's the one good thing.
Yeah. Well, Megan, thank you so much again. It's always great to have an eyewitness account, and unfortunately on a morning like this, but we thank you for your perspective this morning. Thank you, Megan. All right, Megan Riley this morning, who actually saw this plane come across, she said about 50 feet from the ground, an amazing perspective. If you're familiar with this area at all, you know where the Dave & Buster's is. Many people have seen that driving by on Mopac. You know where the Dave & Buster's. She was in that parking lot, and she saw the plane fly from north to south. She didn't see it hit this building, in fact, but she saw the big explosion afterwards. Lots of people like that around here this morning. If you're not familiar, we also talked to a trained pilot who actually saw the plane actually hit the building. He said it was a Cherokee 140. He's actually flown that exact plane before. He was visibly shaken and shaking this morning after seeing that amazing sight. Just wow, just an amazing sight this morning.